Welcome to the 2020 Digital Toolkit for Parents and Guardians for the Fox Chapel Area School District. In this tutorial, we will cover the platforms we will be utilizing, the devices your students will receive, and some login practices. Please know that if your child is a hybrid child, that child will log in to Google Classroom, Seesaw, and Clever one time with their teacher. Unless they log out, they'll never need to log in again, but you will be receiving a passport with your child's password. Should they need to log in again, they will do so with their Gmail information. If you're an online student, your child will need to log in to Google Classroom, Seesaw, and Clever one time, utilizing the same login as password. It is the top password on the passport. We'll get to that in just a minute. Thank you for your time. We look forward to being partners in education. This is your child's passport for the Fox Chapel Area School District technology. There are 3 types of accounts: the Google account, the Apple ID, and the Fox Chapel account. The Google account is what you will use to log into any Chromebook, Gmail, any Google platform, Google Classroom, and Clever. The Apple ID we handle on our end. The Fox Chapel account is used for computers like Macs and to access PowerSchool. It's important to know that we've already assigned and logged into devices for your children. All you'll need to do is log into a Google platform like Google Classroom, Clever, and Seesaw. You will utilize the Google account for all of those.
All right, so here is a Chromebook, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my mouse, and you'll have significantly less people assigned to yours. It will more than likely just be the student. And I'm going to go ahead and touch that, and then I am going to type in my password. Once I type in my password, it opens up to this screen. You're going to notice that I have my Google Drive here, and I also have Chrome. I'm going to go ahead and click on this, and it's fantastic because it's a Chromebook. I've already logged in as O'Hara test, and so that student automatically populates. You're going to notice that more apps are populating down here. The reason for that is this is the first time I'm loading this computer on. Whenever you get yours, your apps will already be all down here. So the apps that we see down here is Google Chrome. We have a Seesaw extension that we don't need just yet, and we also have our Google Drive. When I'm in Google Drive, I can go up here. We call this the waffle, and these are all the apps. You'll be using a lot of Google apps. So one major app, of course, is Classroom. Another is Meet. We're going to go ahead and open Classroom. When I'm in my classroom, I see all the classes that I've been assigned to. Now, sometimes I might see a class that says Join. There'll be a little white Join button. You would just click that button and you would join the class. What's important to know, though, is that for the ease of students, you only have to go to one classroom. Everything is linked. You're going to always go to your homeroom. So this is Dr. Collette's 2nd grade homeroom. We really wanted to make things as effortless as possible for our students. And so, whenever you click on that homeroom link, you're going to see the stream. Notice that we have stream, classwork, and people. The stream is what always populates. There will be very few things on the stream so that we can keep it very clean and uncluttered. 2 items that you'll always have on your stream are the schedule and the supplies. Here, Dr. Collette says, "Hello, fabulous students. Welcome back to school. Here is where you will know where to go and when. Don't worry, we will practice using this page in person and online together. Some of you are my orange fully online students, and some of you are my indigo in-person hybrid students. Be sure to view and click on your color-coded weekly plan." So this color-coded weekly plan is really excellent because it's fully interactive and linked. Students really have to go just here for their one-stop shop hub. This shows me that I am a Monday and Thursday in school kiddo. And go ahead and click this button here, and this button is going to make it very large. This allows me to see everything effortlessly. So I see that when I'm in school, what I'm doing, and then I see these blue links. This means that it opens something for me. Notice that this says Math Meet and then Math Google Classroom. Because Math Meet is larger and on top, I know that every single time I have math class, the first thing I'm going to do is have a meet. The next thing I'm going to do is go to my Google Classroom when my teacher tells me to. Down here seems a little confusing, so let's talk about that for a second. From 1:20 to 2 o'clock, this student, O'Hara Test, has small group instruction time. I happen to know that I'm a Steelers girl, and so as a Steelers student, what that means is that on Tuesday, I'm going to have Google Classroom work, and I'll click there and it'll take me to that link. But on Wednesday, I'm going to have a meet with my teacher. Let's pretend that I'm an orange, fully online student. Now I'm an orange, fully online student. You see the same setup. Something important to mention down here, there's lots of other support classes. The Fox Chapel Area School District offers tons of support for students. And so in an effort to do that and continue to do that, we've added some other classrooms that we'll suggest you go to throughout the day at specific times. Don't worry, your teacher will make it really clear when you need to do that. Let's go back to that stream page. I had mentioned there was a second document. This document came directly from the advice that we received from the Technology and Communication Coalition Group and from the Instructional Coalition Group. Parents and guardians and caregivers really need to know what students need supply-wise before the day of course. We want to make learning as successful as possible for students and definitely take any unnecessary stress away from families. So let's go ahead and click right here. These are my supplies for the week. Now you're going to notice again, at the top we have special areas. Students attend special areas at different times based on their in-person hybrid student or if they're an online student. This indicates which day I have that session and what I might need that the district has sent home with me or what I might need that's easily found at home. So we see on Friday, the hybrid students in person will have music and we'll be using some pencils and found objects to make some music. And on Monday, the online students will have it. Now, other core area subjects happen more often. And so here we know that everyone needs the thumbs up and down paddle and their letter tiles A, B, S, and D for English Language Arts on Monday. Sometimes there might not be an item listed. That's okay too. There's not always going to need a required handheld manipulative or supply, but if there is, we will supply it, or it will be something that can be easily found in the home. So that's our stream page. Our next page is the classwork page. Now, it's important to note that this classwork is really just the core content areas, because there are other Google Classrooms for specials. But if you remember, just like I said before, everything is totally accessible from the schedule. So let's go ahead and see if we can access something from the schedule. First, I'll be an Indigo in-person student. I'm going to go ahead and access Student Focus Time. What's interesting about this is Student Focus Time is actually in that same classroom. But look, it takes us directly to the Student Focus Time. Let me show you that from a different view. If I had gone into classwork, your student would have needed to find Student Focus Time, small group, reading, math, STEAM. But because I went straight through my schedule, it takes me right there. Let's try it from an online class as well. I'll go to computer science this time. There we go, code.org dance party. ready for us to click on. So now that we have a strong understanding of Google Classroom and exactly what it's like and how user-friendly the interface is, I want to also show you how we'll be using it for Google Meet. Again, let's go ahead back to one of our schedules, always our home base. And this time, we're going to meet with the teacher. So let's go ahead and meet with our teacher. It can be our class meeting on Wednesday. Our teacher, Mrs. Fox, has already started the meeting. The first time I'll have to hit allow. And now I have the opportunity to mute my microphone before I enter. I can also mute my video if I want. I'm going to go ahead and join now and see my teacher, Mrs. Fox. Hi, Mrs. Fox. It's important to know that the teacher will ask all of the students to leave the meeting before he or she leaves. The reason is that Google Meets allows us to start meetings and doesn't allow students to start meetings. It helps keep everyone safe. So now that we've seen how effortless our schedule is, let's talk a little bit about Seesaw. Seesaw is a platform our students will use a lot for some really amazing dynamic learning and instruction. Let's go ahead and again, go back to that student focus time. Here we see two assignments. We have a self-portrait assignment and a student focus getting to know you assignment. Let's go ahead and do the getting to know you assignment. The first time you use Seesaw, you'll need to sign in. I'm a student. You're going to sign in with Google. You're going to choose your account. More than likely, it will already know your password. If not, you use the password that it was at the top of your passport, the same one you used to log into this computer. And now, here we are at Seesaw. I'm going to listen to the instructions. I'm going to pause the instructions. I see that I can hear it there. I'm going to push the sound button on the keyboard.
I'd like you to use Seesaw to tell me something that you might be excited about, something you might be a little nervous about in purple, something that you can't wait to do in yellow.
I'm going to listen to my teacher's instructions. I can also read them here, and I even know what tools I'm going to use, the text labeling tool and the microphone tool. I'm going to click Add Response. At any time, if I forget the directions, I can simply click this and it pulls them down. I can listen to my teacher or read. She said to use the text tool, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and type something that I'm excited about. Notice that the finger is illuminated here. That means I just have to move that over. If she said I could write instead of text or draw instead of using text, I could draw something. I could pick my pen, I could use yellow, and I could make a school bus. I've never been on a school bus before. Try not to be jealous of my amazing one-fingered drawing. Then she said I should definitely record and say something. This is where I would allow my microphone option, and I would start my recording, and I would talk and tell my teacher all about the things I'm excited about, nervous about, something I can't wait for, and something I wonder about. I come up here and click Done. Then I click the check to turn it in. Now my teacher sees it. Another great thing about Seesaw, and you'll notice that now we have a different dashboard here. The Google Classroom took me exactly to what I had to do, but this is the dashboard for Seesaw. It allows me to see other things. It allows me to see activities that I have assigned that I haven't done yet. It allows me to see things that I have done. If I go to my inbox, this is where I would see announcements and messages if my teacher messaged me. but they can also notify me. Notifications happen whenever I turn something in and my teacher checks it. Sometimes she might like it. Sometimes she might actually leave a comment. Her voice comments are something that I love, and I love to leave them back.
So, Dr. Clett, I narrowed it down to 2 that I really liked, and then I picked.
Something important to note that sometimes your teacher will send an item back. Teachers send items back whenever you maybe missed something, or they think you could do a little better, or they have a thought-probing question. If that happens, you will certainly see it right here in your list. When I click Activities, another nice thing about Seesaw there are some items that you have to do, some that are in progress, and some that are done. When you click your Done activities, you can see all the ones you've done, and also if your teacher has left feedback and accepted them.
2 places that I can hear her comment. One is down here when I'm under my notifications.
O'Hara test student, I really liked how thoughtful you were in selecting your favorite art out of the self-portraits here. I have to say, I really liked the cloud room at the Warhol Museum too. Excellent work. I noticed that you have 2 pieces pending in your assignments today. Make sure you practice those seesaw skills. Can't wait to see what you create next.
I could also X out, and I could also, if I went to Activities and Done, there's another place that I could hear her response.
In progress activities are any activity that you started and didn't finish, or that you completed, turned in, and your teacher sent back to you. There is a blog option, and at some point we may look at that option. There's an inbox option as well, and of course we talked about this with teachers. There's an opportunity for students to help comment on other student work and like other student work and ask questions about it and increase thinking. There's also an option, of course, for SEL opportunities here. For now, we turn that off. And the reason is that we want to make sure our students are completely prepared in terms of digital citizenship and expectations before we start having that happen. So we'll start with just the teacher to student and student to student comments, and we'll go from there. This is Seesaw. It's a really easy to use platform, and we're very excited about it. If you notice up here, I have a lot of tabs open. Students can always X out those tabs by clicking the X. And so here I am again. These 3 dots take me back to all of my classes if I click classes. But remember, you don't actually have to. Once you're in your home room, you can do everything from here.
Finally, let's dig into Clever. So Clever boasts itself as a single sign-on. Very often you'll use Clever to access different apps and different websites. You'll just log in as a student at the first time that you go, and you'll type Fox for Fox Chapel, and then you'll scroll until you see your school building. Let's type Fox Chapel. I clicked O'Hara. So now that it knows I'm Fox Chapel, I'm going to log in with my last name _ first name @ student.fcasd.edu. I'm going to use the same password I used to get on the Chromebook and the same password I used to access the Google Classrooms. Here, you'll see my page. There are apps and shortcuts. Apps are items that we subscribe to as a district, and you can click there and it will take you there automatically. Shortcuts are outside links that it will take to. When I log into Zern, it knows exactly who I am. We want to thank you for watching this tutorial. We will do everything in our best effort to make this as positive of an experience as it can be for your children and our students. Thank you.